forward to it. The 100-year birthday, the town of Portland was giving basically the arches in the village of Brockton. The village of Brockton was for growth and prosperity, and they're in the process now of redoing the arches, which need work. They got some grant funding and put the lights back on it, and hopefully that'll be presented back in 200 for the 200th birthday.
Yeah, it'll be quite a deal. That arch is, it's iron, isn't it?
Yeah,
steel.
That's the only freestanding arch left in the United States. It was put up by horses, and it was quite a process, and it's under the National Historical calendar, so it's. So
you can't change it. You can't change it.
No.
The register won't let you change it.
You got to go by their guidelines, and
I had a house once that was under that, but actually they gave you money back then. You got a grant if you wanted to fix it. You know.
Well, that's the thing. By being on the National Register, there is grant funding and different things available. So they're in the process of raising funds. They did get some grant funding for it, and we look forward to having this bicentennial event. And
now, Portland, you own money. You own property along the lake, right? Portland runs along the lake.
Yeah, Portland runs all the way.
Do you have any swimming facilities? Or boat launch or anything like that?
No, unfortunately, the state park is.
Oh well, they're on the Lake Chautauqua, of course.
Yeah.
That sure takes up a lot. Hey, I'll bet you those calicos must be running by now.
They should be starting pretty soon if that sun starts heating the water up a little bit, which we haven't seen too much of the sun lately. But.
Well, that's a great gift to Chautauqua Lake, is a calico bass. So you come up all the little creeks. You can fill a 5-gallon bucket in minutes if you have a minnow. You know?
Right.
It's a great gift we have, and also another great gift is they're popping up right now, the leeks. You know, most people around the world don't know anything about leeks, but we have up in the woods around Westfield, we have oceans of these wonderful little. They're like little onions, but they're actually a wild garlic. They're a little stronger than onion, but they are delicious, and you make a sauce out of them. You can use them for salads. You can just eat them. I love to just snap them down, and every year, about now, and I should get on this, I eat some right in front of everybody, right on TV, to point out that they're not going to hurt anybody, they're not going to kill you, the odor isn't that bad, they're really quite delicious. And it's time I did it, because they get big, you know, after a while they get real big, and then they get kind of tough and you know, barky like.
Yeah.
But when they're small, they're real tender and sweet, and oh, what a wonderful gift. And you know, the Department of the DEC, Environmental Conservation in New York State, I think the guy who runs it lives along Central Park in New York City in probably one of those $10 million apartments. And he looks down in the park and he doesn't see any leeks. So he declares them an endangered species. And so you can't just go pick leeks anymore. Under the endangered species law, you have to, I guess it's a threatened species law. You have to get permission from the landowner before you can just pick them. You can't just go pick them the way we used to when we were kids, you know?
Right.
All right.
So I would like to put a little plug in for our museum.
Tell me about it, first of all. Where is it?
Right by the highway barn, where we talked about where the community park is.
Okay, and what do you have in this museum?
There's all kinds of artifact of the railroad, the grape industry. Lot of items in that area, and
we'll talk a little bit about it. We have a phone caller.
Okay.
You want to take a call?
Yeah, let's take the call.
Okay. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Reed.
Hello. What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am a resident of Portland. Like our supervisor, Dan, almost a lifelong one.
Well, I had a house there for a while.
Well,
good morning, Mike.
I'll ask you about that some other time, Reed. But just want to tell you, I live in Water District 1, which is right on Route 20. I live in the hamlet. That district, if memory serves correct, went in 1985. And I just wanted to kind of give a kudos of what a benefit these water districts are to the town. glad I'm in the first one. I'm glad I've had Village Water for 25 plus years now, Village/Town Water. If you've ever been without water, there's nothing like turning on the tap and not getting it, like you talked about.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I guess I would encourage anyone, whether they're a seasonal resident, year-round resident, that water line's going right in front of your house, tap in, and you won't have any worries.
Yeah, well, we had a caller before you may have heard. It was a little alarm.
I've been watching the show the whole hour, Reed,
okay,
so yeah,
right,
I heard the
right.
I heard the other callers, and that's why I kind of wanted to give a plug to the water districts.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I agree with Dan. It's a great benefit to the town, and if it pushes the assessed valuation up, it helps our tax picture overall.
And furthermore, there is a hidden advantage, which he did touch on. You get a cheaper fire insurance rate on your house, and with because of the fact you have the water there.
True.
You have a hydrant.
True. Yeah, and I actually do have a hydrant on my property.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that gives you a nice break on your taxes. I mean, on your fire insurance, anyway.
Yeah, the fire hydrants are placed right around 600 feet apart throughout the whole district. So, I mean, you're providing the fact the fire company looks at it that the availability of water is there to fight that fire. And especially in some of the areas of down in the Green Hills, we have that little park down there in Portland Bay. Without fire hydrants and to try to get fire apparatus down in those areas, it's very difficult. And now that the availability of water is there, it makes it much more fortunate for the fire departments to have that ability to hook to these fire hydrants.
Okay.
Well, I've seen those used twice.
Yeah.
I've seen those fire hydrants used twice.
Yeah.
Once, probably the most memorable one, and sadly the building didn't make it, but was when the Oasis burned down.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right across the street from where I live, and they sure tried. They sure tried, and there was a lot of water available. It was good to have the hydrant there.
One thing we are doing throughout all the water districts, we just, in fact, the last board meeting, we approved to upgrade in the process of upgrading all the water meters to radio controlled, which the advantage of a radio controlled meter is our water personnel can gather the information by a radio frequency off your meter, so you don't have to actually go to the house and read the meter and make sure he writes the number down right and takes it back to the office. That has to be entered into the computer. Again, a chance for an error just from transferring the numbers back and forth. Now, this radio control gun will shoot at the meter, take that information, download it in our computer in our office, and generate our billing off this information.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing technology.
Right.
The other advantage is just by him riding down the road, this has the ability to show that this meter's been running for the last 2 days. You must have a water leak. We can catch water leaks for the customers instead of having to go a whole 3 months before maybe this water leak is detected and you have a high water bill. So the other advantage of radio controlled meters, especially in the town of Portland, is the property along the lakefront. A lot of them are a far distance from the road. So we'll be installing water pits along the roadway for this. The only problem with a water meter pit previously is to take that reading, you got to pull the cover off, you got to go down in the pit. It was very time consuming. Now with the radio control meters, all these pits can just be pointed at the read without taking the covers off. In the wintertime, they can be read more accurate. So it's going to be quite an upgrade. It's going to be quite a feat for the town of Portland, but I think it's going to be very beneficial to all the customers.
Westfield just did that too. They just converted.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
That seems to be the way.
Well, sure. Why? Well, first of all, it cuts back on manpower and time too.
Exactly.
I mean, it's got a guy chasing all over and beating through the
We
weeds.
have one water personnel that like I say, we're over 700 customers with this new district, and to continue to have just one person do it, we had to look at ways to try to make it more labor intensive. And this was one way to try to cut down on it, also by going with these radio controlled meters. Aldi John was our past water department personnel and did an excellent job, and he just recently retired, and we have a new water personnel, Drew Smith, which is on board, and he's...
Well, it sounds like you're in pretty good shape over there.
Yep.
Caller, I wanted to mention, you probably heard that I gave away 2 $5 gift certificates to the Lakeview. You're in too if you want it.
Well, I'll send you a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Please
Reed.
do, and I'll send them to you immediately.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye now.
I'm sorry, caller, we're running out of time here. I just got this message. We're out of here. They're throwing us off the air. So I want to give you a minute or so just to close off. This is your time.
Well, again, I'd like to thank you for inviting me down here today. Town government is becoming more and more involved. They're passing a lot more things down. I can't thank our town workers enough for the job they do. It's more and more paperwork is involved all the time. We've got a great court system. Great Kathy Kay's been our court system as our clerk for a long time, with Lisa Gugino as her assistant. Roxanne Sebecki in our
and that other great
office.
Jurist, what was his name?
What's that?
The other great jurist over there?
Oh yeah, Dick Delkamp.
Dick Delkamp, what a guy he is.
Yeah, and Rob Meyer's they've been there, and they do a great job along with all the workers in our assessors department, and it just goes on, and it takes a great group of people, and I've been very fortunate to have a lot of people work with me. My town board's been very supportive, and it's been a pleasurable experience.
Well, I appreciate it. You going to run again, do you think?
Well, I have 2 more years to think about that. And
how long is your term?
They're 4-year terms, and I have 2 years left on my present term.
So you don't have to worry too much about running right away.
Not
anyway.
Right away, no.
I think that's great. I hear, from what I hear, and as I say, I have property over there. You're doing a great job, and I thank you for giving up your time. I know they don't pay you $100,000 a year for this. It's almost a volunteer job.
Yeah, it's you can put as many hours into this job as you would like, and I've become very interested in it, and you can make as much out of it as you like, and I try to do my best at it.
Okay. Sorry, caller. There's another caller.
Okay.
We're running out of time here. I want to thank some really special people and all the callers. And you'll come back again sometime, won't you, Dan?
Sure.
We'll do it again.
Yeah,
Thank you for giving up your Saturday morning for the public and the people out there and the seniors. And I think they've learned quite a bit about your little area and other areas, because many of these things translate into, problems community-wide all over the county. I want to thank especially Chuck Kelsey, who built this gorgeous studio. He was the town clerk here in Westfield, our village clerk in Mayville for many years. I want to thank Devin Taylor. I want to thank Chris Bird, Randy Bird, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, and Don Zenz, and John Hamels, who unfortunately is not with us today. I want to thank all the people who called in and all the people who watch. We'll be here next week. We'll have another great program for you, so don't fail. And also remember, we're on all week long in your local community. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.